Hey Bianca, so I'm looking at your model and I'm looking at your questions. It says, as I'm doing the direct gain, the glass piece is not becoming transparent and the interior floor is not changing values. I'm not sure why it won't change and was looking for advice. If I look at your simulations here, I don't think I see any that are, it's gonna take a second, I guess. Um, I mean, I just opened the model. Um, yeah, so here's one that's supposed to, I'm only seeing one that has to do with the interior floor, so I'm not sure when we say it's not changing. Let's and if I look here, did we have any? Yeah, you had the gloor open. I guess is this the gloor? I'm not sure what the gloor is. Yeah, I don't know what's on this layer. Oh, the floor. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna mess around with this a little bit. I'll run it once without the glazing on it, which I think is what you did. And that is, yeah, that's the same one that you just ran. It's not exactly the same, but yeah, I don't know. It seems a little different. I'm not sure what you. If I'm looking at this, uh, these are the layers I have on here. They're the same, yeah, so it's slightly different, which is interesting. But anyway, so I'm going to run it again with this glass on it. Just make sure that you have some glazing chosen. So if I run this, I'm going to name mine again, just so we'll keep track of it. Say, I mean, even though it's the same as the one you ran. Okay, now I'm going to go to wireframe view so I can see inside. And it definitely changed, right? So I'm not understanding what the issue is here. Um, that's weird too. Let's see. I'm gonna call that one two. I don't know why I didn't save the other one. Oh, I think it's because I didn't hit enter. But you had about the same results, right? So this one did change. You're saying it's not transparent. Let me show you about that. That doesn't really matter. Um, since we're in, that just depends on what view you're in. You're not actually adding, when you add a material in Climate Studio, let me turn this back on. Which one was it? Um, so this layer has a material on it. Let's make sure it's there. Yeah, that's it. Um, because we're adding it in Climate Studio. And let's see, is there a clear? It's this one. It has a visible transmittance of 59.5 and a solar heat gain, which is what we're talking about, transmittance of 0.4. Um, but it's not transparent because that it's not setting a visual um, graphic setting for that window when you select a material. If you want to make it transparent, you can come just, whatever, pick a color, make it transparent in this view, or if you're in ghosted view, I usually leave it on black if I go to ghosted, and then it's transparent there, as is the whole thing, but they're different colors now because it's, well, we don't need to talk about it. So I think that should make that clear. Um, but now, okay, so the point is, uh, the graphic display of the window it has nothing to do with its properties in the radiation map, and it seemed to be working. So I'm not sure why you said it wasn't working, but let's now play with this a little bit. I'm gonna go back and do a baseline without any glazing, so it should be 100% of the glazing coming of the solar heat coming through that opening. So we'll just run it again to make sure that we're doing that. And I'm going to say um, no glass. And it's 323 by the front window. It's interesting. Oh, and that's also, remember, that's the total. So if I'm looking during the colder season, this is probably when it's more interesting to me. Maybe I'll go down to 200. Okay, so in the cold season, I mean, when I'm trying to heat, I'm at 121 here, 91 going in. Let's now add that glass that you had and run it. I'm going to call this, I have to go look it up. I'm going to say SHGC, and then I'm going to look up the amount that we had on this one. Is it very clear? So our SHGC here was 0.39, which is pretty low. So I'm going to put 0.39 in here. Remember, that's the amount of heat coming through the glass that's hitting the glass. So like 40% of the heat is making it through. I go to wireframe so I can see inside. And so we've got 121 in our original and now 66 in the winter. So let's see, 66 divided by 121. Yeah, that's about, 46% difference. We're at 40%. And this shouldn't be linear because one's the amount going through a surface that's vertical, the other's what's going through what's hitting the surface on the ground inside. If that's confusing to you, just not that important right this minute. But let's go and just see if we can change this by picking out glazing with a higher solar heat gain coefficient. So I'm going to pick this one with a 0.9 solar heat gain coefficient. So that means that more heat should get through here. And let's run this again. Wait, did I have the glass on? Yeah, I did. And now we're at 102. I'm going to rename this SHGC 0.9. So now we're at, our original was 121. Then for 0.9, we had 102. And then for 0.39, we had 66. Now that makes more sense, right? And even if we're comparing, let's see, the 121, I'm just talking about right here at the front, 109 divided by 121, it's about 0.9, so 90%. And we were saying this is a 90% solar heat gain coefficient glass. The other had no glasses, so it should be 100%. So that totally makes sense, right? And then you can move from there and see, what else you want to do. How, if you want to make this bigger, or if you want to think about, is it the same if you go back further in, how it changes. All right, I hope that helps. If not, let's keep going. Just ask me more questions.